Welcome back. You're live with Expresso as we focus on the kids this morning. Well, in fact, the entire family. Why? Because one of the biggest traditions, I think, in many people's lives, the Easter weekend is coming. Now, rituals are things that we do over and over again that become part of who we are and how we operate in the world and probably affect the way we see the world in some way. And there are different types of religions. We've got holiday traditions, cultural traditions, religious traditions, and of course, those beautiful family traditions that are just yours. Now, this morning, we are going to be talking about the importance of creating those family traditions with registered counsellor Shenaaz Moos. Welcome back. You look gorgeous this morning.
Thank you.
I love our time together because we get to talk about the coolest stuff. And this is an important thing for me because I'm wanting to create those traditions because those are the best memories that I have from my childhood with my mom, who was amazing at creating those traditions. But maybe let's start with the heart of the matter. Why are family traditions a good thing? Why should we be creating those beautiful moments that we get to kind of repeat and remember for life?
Yeah, I think that, tradition is that connection to the past. And a lot of people have done away with it, but I think that there's so many parts of our past, of our family's past, that connect us to a bigger picture. So that tradition helps us feel part of that history that goes before us. And traditions can be made, new ones can be made because things have changed. But that connection, the key thing is connection and belonging is what family traditions give us.
And it's just magical for young children to take them into that space. There's something beautiful about it, but it gives you an opportunity to get excited about it as well. And I'm trying to go back and kind of follow the blueprint that my mother had created around Easter because I loved the magic of Easter. But we don't have to wait for the big holidays to be able to do that. So talk me through how we should be looking at approaching family traditions. Can they be big things? Should they be big things? Should we do them every day? How should we approach this? Because I think there are a lot of families that would like to create these little markers in the sand, if you will.
Yeah, so that we all have routines, family routines that we do. It's not the same as a family tradition. The tradition has a meaningful element and a specialness about it.
I guess a cultural significance.
Yeah, so there's things that are tied to it, but everyday smaller things are like, I don't know how many people still do bedtime stories.
100%.
So that can actually be something that, and a book that's passed down. So how you make a tradition, you pass down a book that was read to you, that makes a normal routine thing, a family tradition.
It's so funny because now my daughter is asking for a bedtime story. Doesn't really appreciate me reading The Little Prince, but that's what she wanted because she's seen her brother for her whole life have that little tradition. I love that. Shenaaz, I'm tired, man. I'm so tired of being tired. Parents are exhausted. Being that kind of proactive and being kind of, I think so many of us are just getting through our daily routines, never mind the traditions. Do we have to put a lot of emphasis on it? Why is this so important? And how can we approach this in a more accessible way for the parent that is dealing with the most at the moment?
Yeah, so I think that you can't do the big grand gestures because traditions, you have like an annual type of thing. You have your monthly tradition. So you can actually do smaller, like even like a high five or a special handshake between you and a child. And then you form something. So how much energy is that going to take?
The Friday dance, man.
Just a
2-minute after school.
Yeah, so there's smaller things, little moments that you can watch your kid's favorite program with them. That can be part of a daily, weekly. So you have to decide what you are capable or willing to do. Not think of, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted.
And it can be a nice marker for you as well. So you can say on a Friday, that's a big thing for me, is always trying to make sure that I'm there to pick up my son on a Friday. I'll bring him a little treat in the car and we'll go and pick up water from the fountain. And we'll do things that we know that that's the end of our week together. And then after that, it's me and him and it's family time. So I get that. What's your favorite family tradition that you've been able to bring from your childhood and impart with your kids?
I think that, that picnic, man, that December picnic to that family spot where you will try to assemble as many family members as possible, literally.
At great pains.
Something I did as a child with my family that we try to do again. And most families have this one day where everyone tries to get together But I mean, at the same time, in the same place, which is not always possible. So that was my favorite.
Oh, man, I would imagine people are going to be appreciating those kind of family traditions now more than ever because we've been kept apart from one another. So let's reconnect. Let's make sure those connections within our little family nucleus are their strongest that they can be. And a lot of that comes through those beautiful, magical moments that you share. So let's start working on some family traditions that we're going to introduce this Easter.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, folks, we're talking to the folks. Time for a bit more parenting advice. We are talking about family traditions, and we know that they are an integral part of family life, and we are chatting to registered counsellor Shenaaz Moos. I'm starting to get an understanding that this is about creating that sense of belonging. How do we, because that's ultimately what we want within our family structure, is for everyone to feel the depth of connection. How do we create that sense of belonging through family traditions? How does that help us?
I may just start singing because
I know you will. That's why we gave you the mic. That was the whole point. Yeah.
So that belonging, man, that need, and often people with family tradition, for children, certain things just make sense. They know where they fit in. There's a feeling of acceptance. So belonging is that need, and you don't need to do sometimes anything but just have beautiful family traditions that make everyone feel accepted. That's what we need to do.
And that is not often the case at home. You might think just by virtue of the fact that your family's all together that everyone is feeling that way, but you might have, in my case, say 2 children of differing ages, and I'm now hyper aware that when I'm hyper focused on the 2-year-old, my 4-year-old might be feeling differently. His experience of life is changing completely. Is it okay to have different traditions with different family members?
Yeah, I think that adds to the specialness, that there's a special moment or a special secret thing that you have with one child that gives them that connection to you. And it's not like playing favorites, as long as you have something for each child.
It's something for you, and it's something that expresses your relationship. You've used the word, I've used the word now, connection, a couple of times. We want to increase our connection with our children so that we can have better communication. That's my main goal in life, is to ensure that that arc of communication just keeps getting better and better, that trajectory. What is the difference in terms of our capacity to create connection, proper connection with our children, the difference between a tradition and a routine? Because surely they must be the same. We're doing them both often.
Yeah, well, a routine is something that your family does to keep the family structure working. So there's no specialness in that. In a breakfast time, and we leave at 7:30.
Cleaning out the cat litter box is very special, Shenaaz. We love it, man, in our house.
I'll bring mine over to yours. So can you see there's no specialness in those routine things? The difference between the routine and the tradition is that the meaning part and giving their children that boost in their self-esteem. Family routines don't always do something like that.
We've spoken about how good it is for the kids in this instance because it creates that connection to their past and it gives them magical moments to look forward to. I think anticipation is a big thing with children, and when they know something's coming, that makes it better. What is the benefit, do you think, for us as parents to go through this, to have these same family traditions, to have these markers in the sand, to say this is what we're going to do, this is when family matters most? What do we as parents get out of creating these magical moments?
We were also kids once, and we remember, like I was talking about the family holidays and things, is that we also still need connection to our bigger family structure that kind of fills us with that sense of belonging and meaning, which we then pour into our children. So you can't say, oh my word, I love my work, I get belonging and meaning there. It depends what you do.
Yeah.
But sometimes being part of a family system that gets you, that knows you, that accepts all your flaws.
Your context in this world.
So that's that link that parents need. You also need that. You need your cup filled as well.
Completely. You need to be grounded, and I think it's kind of a coming of age that a lot of parents go through, where you're becoming that patriarch or that matriarch of your own family. And when you realize you're starting to take over the traditions, that this was always mom's job or this was always dad's job, now I'm the master braaier. It's an amazing thing. And it can be something as small as a weekend family braai, or maybe you want to braai on a Wednesday night and just buck the trend. Something small like taking someone out for an ice cream one day of the week, or it can be around a beautiful wonderful cultural experience like an Easter where you have an opportunity to enrich and teach your children. But the most important thing, as Shenaaz has said, it's all about that connection with your kids. So let that guide you. But hopefully you're looking forward to as much as I am now, eating as much as you can this Easter and enjoying all of your Easter traditions. Happy Easter, Shenaaz.
Thank you.